Jasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Kartal Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Yasodhanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Bhajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Vishnu Padmanamang Prabhupada Asa Joseph Shimad, His Divine Grace, Siddhesi Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananda Gaura Vaishnavani Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem to the host of Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gokupina Samakun, Radhakun, Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavandam Ki Jai. Shrimaya Pranabhidam Ki Jai, Gangamaya Ki Jai, Jamunamaya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. I do. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 23, right? 20. 20:38. That's a verse. Adristaya Namaskritya Nirpa Sundar. No, I got my phone on me. Uh-huh. No, I'm going to use my flashlight here. I can't.
Oh, the flash?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wait a second. There you go. Okay. Adristaya Namaskritya Nirpasandar Sitatmane Avyaktaya to Devanam Devaya Swapan Yayao Adristaya Namaskritya Nirpasandar Sitatmane Avyaktaya to Devanam Devaya Swaparam Yayao Adristaya Namaskritya Nirpasandar Sitatmane Avyaktaya to Devanam Devaya Swaparam Yayao Adristaya Namaskritya Nirpasandar Sanatmane Devayam Swaparam Yayao Adristaya Namaskritya Tatmane Okay, ready? Adristaya, unto one who is beyond the purview of material vision. Namakrita, offering obeisances. Nripa, the king. Sandarsita, revealed. Atmane, unto the Supreme Soul. Avyaktaya, who is beyond the manifestation of the material world. Cha, also. Devanam, of the demigods. Devaya, unto the Supreme Lord. Swaparam, to his own house. Yayao, returned. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada ki. King Prithu then offered his respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Lord of all demigods. Although not an object of material vision, the Lord revealed himself to the sight of Maharaj Prithu. After offering obeisances to the Lord, the king returned to his home. Purport. The Supreme Lord is not visible to material eyes, but when the material senses are inclined to the transcendental loving service of the Lord and are thus purified, the Lord reveals himself to the vision of the devotee. Avyakta means unmanifested. Although the material world is the creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is unmanifested to the material eyes. Maharaj Prithu, however, developed spiritual eyes by his pure devotional service. Here, therefore, the Lord is described as Sandarsi Tatma, for he reveals himself to the vision of the devotee, although he is not visible to ordinary eyes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus ended the Bhakti-Rasa purports of the fourth canto, 20th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. Omayanatamarandasya gyananjana salakaya chakshrum litam jina tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Mukam kotavachalang pangunlang hayate garim yat kripataraham vande Shri Gurum dinatarana vanchakapatubhyascha kripa sindhu devacha patitanam bhavanevyo vaishnavevyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this word adristaya, with material eyes we cannot see Krishna. So just like we're hearing this morning, Javendra Prabhu was reading how that we're so proud of our eyes. But what can we see with these eyes? It's like it's a very common thing now in materialistic society, especially amongst the academicians, the intelligentsia, that if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. What do they call that? What's the word? There's a word for it. But there's so many things that we can't see with our eyes that definitely exists. Air. We can't see air. Yeah. It's everywhere. We can't see air. Thoughts. Has anybody ever seen a thought or intelligence or gravity? You know? Desires. You can't see desires. Yeah. So things that are most important we can't see. People say, "Oh, I can't see God." So I tell students now, there's billions of things you don't know. Yeah. It's like you're in school to learn things, but there's, even you become a best student, very intelligent, still there's billions of things you don't know. And one of the things you don't know is whether there's a God or not. Yeah. So you should be, I tell you, you should be a little humble. Just admit ignorance. You're agnostic. I told this to one big atheist at the Griffith Park. We have this. What do they call that? Anyway, I was speaking to one big atheist, so I mentioned that to him. That there's so much you don't know. So one of the things you don't know is whether there's a God or not. He said, "Well, I got a pretty good hunch." I said, "Well, that means you don't know. So you're not an atheist, you're an agnostic." He got so angry at me because he was so proud of being an atheist. And this is probably the first time anybody ever told him you're not an atheist. Because you just admitted you don't know. A hunch means you don't know. So you're agnostic. He got so upset. He got a little physical. He wanted to get physical with me. So Prabhupada said that you give a fool good instruction, they just get angry. So, there's so much we can't see with our eyes. But by taking to devotional service, by serving Krishna, eventually we're able to see that person whom previously we couldn't see. Premanjana churita bhakti velochanena santak sadaiva hridayesa valokayanti. Yung syama sundram achintya gunasvarupam govindamari purusam tamaham vachami. I worship that primeval Lord, Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pope of love. He's always seen in his form of Syama Sundar, situated within the heart. So this is what's needed, is this devotion. Then Krishna reveals himself. He's conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. So Prabhupada said this process is all about trying to conquer Krishna with devotion. It's the only way you can conquer Krishna. And in the actually, there's when I was in India recently, I was speaking to one really senior Prabhupada disciple. What's his name? Bhakti Siddhanta. You know Bhakti Siddhanta? He does a lot of the murtis, and he's working with the TOVP, doing a lot of the he's a wonderful devotee. Bhakti Siddhanta. He's like 71. He's still working so hard on the TOVP. So he's a wonderful, really nice, humble devotee. He told me when he was in Los Angeles. He was living in Los Angeles for some time, and then one devotee told him that he was serving Prabhupada. He was guard that night at his door, and he heard some commotion in Prabhupada's room. So there was a little keyhole. So he peeked in just to see what's going on. And Prabhupada was shuffling around on the floor, and he was surprised. So later that morning, he saw Prabhupada. Said, "Prabhupada, I heard some shuffling around in your room, and I looked in. You were shuffling around on the floor. What was that?" "Oh, I was wrestling with Balaram." "Oh, okay, Prabhupada." So he couldn't see. He couldn't see because he didn't have that devotion. But Prabhupada could see so much. Were you there in 75, the CC marathon? An amazing thing happened there as well. Prabhupada wanted the devotees to finish these books, 17 volumes, in 2 months. It was just like, I think they were doing one every 2 months before, something like that. Yeah, he was there. So it was just like a full-on marathon, and it was so devotees were working, practically not sleeping. They were the painters. They would be painting, and then they'd fall asleep, and another painter would come by, and he would start working on it while this one's sleeping. So it was just like, and it created a whole atmosphere. Not only the devotees that were working on the CC, but it became they were just like everybody picked up on this. So the book distributors went on a marathon, and Hridayananda Maharaj said the Spanish BBT, they went on a marathon. They didn't have to go on a marathon, but it was contagious. Prabhupada just got everybody completely fired up to do these volumes. And it was actually when Rameshwar first heard this desire of Prabhupada, he said, "Prabhupada, I see this as being impossible. It's impossible." And they were going to do I think maybe one a month or something like that. Huh? 2 a month. And now he wants to do all something in 2 months. So what did Prabhupada say? Impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. So then they thought, all right, we're on the line, we got to do it. And then they went back and they were discussing, all right, Prabhupada, we're going to try. So but they needed Prabhupada there for that period, because it's Bengali and they need some, Prabhupada knew the Bengali, so they would need some help. So Prabhupada said, all right, yeah, I'll stay. So that was pretty ecstatic, and just having Prabhupada there. But what happened was, Prabhupada, he just, devotees are inviting him all over, so he wasn't able to stay there for the whole 2 months. So the night he was leaving, or the night before the day he was leaving, there was a huge, everybody knew Prabhupada's leaving next day. So there's a huge kirtan in the temple, just packed. Ecstatic kirtan. Prabhupada's there on the vyasa, and he's chanting, and then Prabhupada gets up. And he starts dancing. And the whole temple just went wild, you know. I mean, even the ants were dancing, you know. Everybody was just completely ecstatic. You can't imagine. So then, when the kirtan ended, Prabhupada sits on his vyasa and he said, "Did you see?" Did we see what, Prabhupada? Narada Muni, Sukadeva Goswami, Lord Jiva. So he became so ecstatic because they were there. They were ecstatic, you know, seeing all these mlechas chanting and dancing. They came and they wanted to be a part of the fun. You know? So Prabhupada saw that, he came out and he started dancing. So what we couldn't see, what the devotees couldn't see, was there. Yeah. So it's a question of devotion. Atasha Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Graimindra Sevan Mukha Hijivada Svayameva Spratita, that the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna cannot be revealed to those persons who are not engaged in devotional service. But anybody that engaged in devotional service, this is all revealed to them. I found a nice thing in the purport. I couldn't give justice to it to try to remember it, so I wrote it down. We have to become spiritually saturated with Krishna consciousness, just absorbed, just saturated. Then Prabhupada goes on to say, then eventually our spiritually empowered senses become empowered to see Krishna. Powerful statement. Prabhupada's purports, just like these little pithy statements, you know, just like amazing. I got to read that again. We have to become spiritually saturated. Then eventually our spiritually empowered senses become empowered. Our senses become empowered to see Krishna. Isn't that nice? So this is something to look forward to. We have to engage our senses, you know, in the service of Krishna very, very diligently. You know? And if we can achieve this, as Prabhupada says in many places, this is the causeless mercy of Krishna. You know, I read Prabhupada's books a lot, and I see this word a lot. Causeless mercy of Krishna. Causeless. But we all know that Krishna, he's the cause of all causes. Sarva karana karanam. Right? He's the cause of all causes. So why is that word? 2,700 times, actually more than 2,700 times, you find this word causeless. So I was thinking, why? Why is that word there? So I asked many sannyasis, why is that word there so much? And I got some responses, but I wasn't satisfied until I asked Dravida Prabhu. It was years ago, you don't remember. Nayam, and he said to me, Nayam atma vichijena labdo namedya nabuhna shrutena. This is the answer. That one cannot understand Krishna with expert scholarship and vast learning, and nor even by much hearing, but only by those whom he chooses. Interesting statement there. He only gives himself to those persons whom he chooses. We can't force our way into the kingdom of God. We can't force our way through the pearly gates of heaven, they say. You know, only those persons whom he chooses. So he's svarat, which means he's independent. He doesn't have to do anything. He's completely svarat, you know, independent. So one may say, well, but I'm serving Krishna so much, I'm trying so hard, and you know, Krishna, he may not choose me. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Te samsarikjutanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenam yantite. that those who are constantly devoted to me and worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So these are the persons whom he chooses. So one may say, well, then love is the cause. But then we have the example of Amoga. In the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was a great devotee who was practically the biggest Mayavadi in India, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, became a devotee. That was a big catch. So he became such a great devotee that the Lord revealed himself, the Sadbhuj form. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, Lord Ram. So he became such a great Vaishnava. So he invited Lord Chaitanya to his home to have lunch. But he had this son-in-law named Amoga who was very envious. I don't know what he did, but he was such an envious person that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was at the door with a stick, just in case this envious guy came by, because he knew that he would say something offensive. I mean, I don't know what he did, but he must have did some really bad stuff. Because generally, the father-in-law is very affectionate to the son-in-law, the husband of his daughter, and there's a lot of affection there usually. But the guy had a stick, ready to beat him, So he's guarding there, and his wife is serving prasadam to Lord Chaitanya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he said that she needed some help, so he became a little inattentive in his guard when he started helping his wife. And sure enough, the Amoga comes by, peeks in there, and sees all the prasadam. He says, "What is this? What kind of a sannyasi is this? This is enough for 10 men. What kind of renunciation is this?" Now, as soon as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard that, his eyes looked at Amoga. And if vision could have burnt him, he would have been finished. So Amoga saw that and he thought, I'm going to get out of here. So he took off running. But he got his stick and he went chasing him. Of course, an old man, he couldn't catch him. But he felt so bad. He felt so bad that the Lord had come to his home, and he was offended like that. So he went back and he's lamenting. And Lord Chaitanya said, it's not a big deal. He's right. I'm a sannyasi. I shouldn't beat him so much. It's okay. Don't worry about it. His wife also, she said, "May my daughter become a widow." They both wanted him to just die for such a great offense. So Lord Chaitanya went back to his quarters, and the next day, Gopinath Acharya, the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, went there to see him, and he asked how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is doing, and he said, "Well, he's fasting. Him and his wife are fasting. They're so upset." "Oh, why are they taking this so seriously? It's not a big deal." So he said, "And Amoga?" "Amoga's dying. Cholera." So Lord Chaitanya said, "Take me to where he is." So Lord Chaitanya went there, and he saw him practically leaving his body. So Lord Chaitanya, he took his hand, big hand. It's described that Lord Chaitanya's hand was so big, he could take, with one handful, he could take enough rice to feed 2 Bengalis. They eat a lot of rice, So he took his hand, he put it on his chest, and he said, "Amoga, you were born into a very nice Brahmin family. Why have you allowed this chandala of envy to sit in your heart, making it not a very nice place for Krishna to sit? However, because you are the son of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you had this relation with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Son-in-law. I remove all this contamination, and when the heart is pure, naturally one chants Hare Krishna. So immediately, Amoga jumps out of the bed. Lord Chaitanya took his hand, and he starts chanting Hare Krishna. And he's chanting ecstatically, just in ecstasy. Now remember, he was practically dead. Now he jumps out of the bed and he's chanting. And then he pays obeisances to Lord Chaitanya, begging for forgiveness. He starts slapping his face really hard. Really hard. And Gopinath Acharya is there as well. So he's slapping his face so hard that Gopinath Acharya had to restrain him. And he grabbed his arm. And then he said, I deserve this punishment because this mouth has blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here's a person that became a great Vaishnava, but there was no love. There was no love. He was envious of Lord Chaitanya. So what caused that? It was the relation that he had, that Lord Chaitanya had with Sarvabhaumacharya. It was that love, so much love there with Sarvabhaumacharya that someone related to him, he gave his mercy to. And also Narayani, when Srivas Thakur, he was, they were having this kirtan, and there was some threat that the government was going to come and harass them, and the neighbors were worried. These Hare Krishnas are doing all this, kirtan. It's going to cause problem. The government's going to come and, give us all kinds of trouble because of this. So Lord Chaitanya said, "What can this government do? Don't you know that by my power I can do anything?" He said, "You don't believe me? Watch this. Narayani, chant the names of Krishna and cry, 4-year-old daughter. Immediately she goes in complete ecstasy. Body is shivering, tears are. Let's describe that the ground became wet because of the tears coming from Narayani. Complete ecstatic love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya just gave it to her, 4-year-old daughter. What's the cause? The relation that she had with Srivas Thakur. So we have a relationship with Srila Prabhupada, either grand disciples or disciples. So we're in a very fortunate position to have that relationship with Srila Prabhupada. So this is the important thing, is that we have to really take seriously Krishna consciousness so that we can get this mercy of Krishna, this causeless mercy of Krishna. Today is an important day throughout the country, Thanksgiving. I thought I'd look it up and see, well, what brought this out? When we were in school, we heard that the Pilgrims and the native Indians, they came together and they had a gathering and nice dinner. But actually, it was the Indians did help. I think it was 1620 or something like this. The Mayflower came and they're new, to America, so they didn't know how to grow things, and so the Indians helped them. So the next harvest, that's what it was. It was a celebration of the harvest. So 1621, I think it was. They had a dinner together. But unfortunately, it didn't take much time after that there was mass massacre of the. Actually, it's even said that millions of Indians. Huh? Genocide. Yeah. Huh? What? Yeah, of course, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not. But there were Indians. There was a lot of Indians there.
There were Chinese mixed with other people that come from ships that come previously. The actual Indians, 1 million Indians died because of signing the treaty killing Wichita. They killed them. They killed them all from that.
But in any case, a lot of Indians died, no doubt. Huh?
It's a myth of
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation, no doubt. So, actually, it was, like today is a happy day for a lot of Americans. They gather, all the families gather, and they have turkey. So it's a happy day for some, but sad for others. 46 million turkeys are eaten today. Yeah. So it's devotee hears that para dukkha dukkha. They hear this and it's so sad. Yeah. So sad. So much unnecessary slaughter. If they were able to see the turkeys being slaughtered and being treated the way they are, in all these small cages, and just hell. Just hell. If they were able to see, how they're treated, I bet you there'd be a lot more vegetarians. But they go to the store and they see them wrapped nicely, and so they don't see what's going on behind the scene. So, it's very sad. There's one devotee, Vasudev Dutt, or Vasudev the leper. He was a leper. When Lord Chaitanya was in South India, he visited this devotee, it's called the Kurma Brahmana, and he stayed with him for 2 months, or was it 4 months? I think 4 months, something like that. So, you can imagine how, excuse me, you can imagine how ecstatic the Kurma Brahmana was to have Lord Chaitanya there for so long. And when Lord Chaitanya left, he wanted to go with him. He was a well-to-do Brahmana, but he just from the association of Lord Chaitanya, he just didn't want anything to do with material life. I just want to go with you. So what did he say? Lord Chaitanya said, Jai Deka Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh Amara Agyaya Guru Hanatare Desh. So he said, no, you stay. Instruct everyone of the teachings of Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and the srimadbhagavatam. In this way you become a spiritual master and you liberate everyone in the land. So he had to stay. Lord Chaitanya left, but this Vasudev the leper, somehow he hadn't heard that Lord Chaitanya was there until he'd already left. So he went to Kurma Brahmana's house, and Lord Chaitanya is here? No, he just left. He was so distraught that he fainted. He was so disturbed because he didn't get the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya, he's in the hearts of everyone. So Lord Chaitanya came back for this leper. And when he saw Lord Chaitanya, he was so ecstatic. And Lord Chaitanya was so ecstatic because he's a great devotee. He embraced the leper. Now this leper was so detached and so concerned about the suffering of others. Not like these guys that are eating these turkeys. He had this leprosy. If an insect or a maggot or something fell off his sore, he would pick it up and put it back. He didn't want it to be inconvenienced. Amazing, huh? So this is a devoteeism. Doesn't want anybody to be inconvenienced. Even an insect on his, it's like inconceivable. Huh? So a devotee doesn't like to see that anyone is disturbed, and therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says, "Naivod Vijay." Oh yeah. So Lord Chaitanya embraced him, and he became cured of the leprosy. He became beautiful, actually. He became beautiful, and then Vasudeva became a little concerned that now I'm going to become proud. Before I was a leper, I was very humble. Now you're giving me this beautiful body, I'm going to become proud. So what did Lord Chaitanya say? Chant the holy name of Krishna, and you'll remain humble. So the holy name of Krishna is very powerful. This helps us to attain this or to retain this humility. So important. So important that we... Actually, there was... What was I was going to... Oh yes, Prahlad Maharaj. He says, Naivod Vijay Pradriti Vaitranya Tvadvirya Gayana Mahamata Magna Chitta So Chaitato Vimukha Chaitata Indriyartha Maya Sukhayam Badamudvato Vimudan. He says, I have no problem, no anxiety. Everything's good. Because wherever I go, I'm hearing and chanting your glories. So there is no problem. But I am concerned about the unfortunate souls in this world that are not connected to you and are bewildered by Maya Sukhaya, illusory happiness. Just like people are eating so many turkeys today and enjoying, but they don't know. They get a reaction. They get a reaction for this. There's 6 people that get a reaction for meat eating. Right? See if we can get them there. The person who owns the slaughterhouse, who sanctioned it. The person who kills it. Right? The person who transports. The person who eats it. What else? Person who cooks it. Person who sells it. All these people get reactions. People have no idea. They just think, just go on. No problem. No, major problems with meat eating. And Prabhupada was saying how, as a vegetarian, it's so nice. You just cook some, or grow some vegetables and cook them. It's so nice, pleasant life. But slaughterhouse is just horrible. And it's the biggest. They say it's the biggest problem with this global warming, right? But it's kept secret. It's kept secret. They don't want that out too much. There's one documentary. I forgot the name of it. Anyways, how it's being kept secret. The meat industry, how it's a big problem with the global warming. So yeah, devotee sees others suffering. It gives pain. They're seeing them as food, but others see them as pets. I'll tell you an interesting thing. I was with. I was distributing books in the airport, L.A. many years ago, and I approached one lady and I was showing the book to her, and I showed her the cow with the man head and the man with the cow head, karma. And she said, "Oh yeah, I'm vegetarian." And I'll tell you why. When I was young, I had a lot of pets. I liked pets, dogs, cats. I had a calf. I had so many hamsters and all kinds of pets. But my most affectionate pet was this baby calf. She said I would go into the barn and this baby calf would just come and huddle against me immediately. Just so much affection. My favorite pet. So I went into the barn one day and my calf wasn't there. So that night we were having dinner. I asked my father, I went into the barn and my baby calf wasn't there. You know where it is? Yeah, it's on your plate. She said, "What?" She started crying immediately, pushed her plate away, and from that day she never ate meat again. Some see it as food, and others see, well, that's my pet. So I was explaining this to one girl at the university, and she said, "Oh, something, you're not going to believe this. The same experience my father had. He had 6 turkeys. They were pets when he was a child. 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. And he went out there one day, there was only 5. He even named them all. They were all they were all his pets. There was only 5. And that night he asked his father, but I have 6 turkey pets. Where? There are only 5. Where's the other one? It's on your plate. Same thing. Never ate meat again. Interesting, huh? What people see as food can be a pet. Because why? There's a soul there. They're persons. But they just see them as big money, unfortunately. So we have to let people know that everyone is a soul, not the body, but part of Krishna, eternal servants of Krishna. Of course, now the vegetarian movement, the vegan movement is becoming very big. Even these major McDonald's and Burger King, they're having veggie burgers now. Because even vegan, they have vegan veggie burgers. So it's becoming a big thing now. And I heard McDonald's is being sued because they were making a veggie burger, but they were cooking it on a stove that they cook hamburgers on. Yeah, so it's mixed. So he sued McDonald's and got big money. Huh? Oh, I don't know, but it's so people are becoming very concerned about this. They're getting tired of so much animal killing going on and atmosphere being disturbed by the slaughterhouses. So today's a happy day for some, a sad day for others. It's like the native Indians. Most of them, they don't celebrate this day. Yeah? Huh? Day of mourning, yeah. Yeah. They don't eat anything. They fast. Wow. Many, of course not all, but many of them. It's a day of mourning. So many of their ancestors were killed. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Slavery, the foundation of the United States, slavery and genocide. Yeah. Yeah, same thing in New Zealand. They're killed so many. What is that island south of Tasmania? They got on one end of the island. They started one end. They went through. They killed every indigenous native there. Killed them all, except for one boy. He saw him coming. He went up in a tree. They didn't get him. He survived. So much murder, so much killing going on. So we have to let people know that this is it's not good. And this is by the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. There's so many devotees, and when they joined, they weren't vegetarian. They got the books. They learned, oh, this is not good. They became vegetarian. Yeah. Anybody in here that was not vegetarian before reading Prabhupada's books? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we were also eating it. But this is our Thanksgiving. This is our thing, right? Turkey. It's terrible. Terrible culture, actually. Violent, such a violent culture. So, any question, comment? Every year now, is that?
Just one for the whole country?
One turkey gets freedom. Yeah, one turkey out of 46 million turkeys. Yes, Prabhu.
I wanted to comment. I wanted to thank you guys for having us here. This Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We'll have a nice turkey dinner. We'll have a nice. Well, they have vegan. They have tofu. Tofu turkey. In L.A., they used to have a live turkey in the restaurant. But then some people complained, yes, I mean, if we understand you're celebrating Thanksgiving and here's this live turkey, we're not going to kill it, but he's in a cage, who wants to be in a cage, just let him go. So they stopped, the cage, the prison turkey, just let him go. Yes, Boo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty loud.
How is he related to
No, he's the brother-in-law. He's the brother-in-law of Sarvabhaumacharya, and Amoga, he's the son-in-law.
So brother-in-law means he's Sarvabhaumacharya's sister's husband.
Yeah. No.
And also that, when you say that verse that Krishna chooses, is that from Prahlad Maharaj?
That's in the Purana, that's in one of the Puranas, Padma Purana or something.
Prabhupada quotes it as one of his...
Yeah, that's a commonly quoted verse. Nayam Atma Pravachayena Labdha. Yeah, Krishna, he chooses those that have devotion, though. That's what's most attractive, is devotion.
You as you made the point, is that I've been chanting for 30 years. I'm coming along like you. Why can't I see Krishna? Not like that. That was the point of the story.
It's not automatic.
Reasons and what the real state of the heart is. That's not.
Yeah, just like you mentioned how, Prabhupada said you chant, the 16 rounds a day, 4 regular principles, you'll go back to Godhead. But not if you don't have the quality.
Yeah.
If you don't have the quality, just like the guys who are chanting 16 rounds, playing soccer, he might be chanting 16 rounds a day, but there's no quality there, so he's not going to, no. Yeah, that also, you can't, that's not going to do it. You have to be attentive.
This verse is from the Katha Upanishad.
Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad, oh yeah. Yeah, it is in the verse book. Yeah, it's definitely there. Yeah.
I don't remember the quoting to it, but I thought that you remember it better than mine.
This might have been the 80s or 90s, something like that. I don't know. That's going, you're asking for too much now. Yeah. Yeah.
So my question is it okay, like, to feel proud to be Krishna conscious? Or is it wrong?
Yeah, we can be proud of Krishna. Well, Prabhupada, yeah, you could dovetail pride. We're proud of Prabhupada. We're proud of Krishna. We're proud to be Hare Krishnas. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
But you see, the atheists, they feel that they've graduated from agnosticism. They know there's no God.
Right.
Because all of agnostic, but thinking so. I know.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
You said the guy tried to get physical.
Yeah, what happened was he was. I was distributing books, and he came by. He was with another friend. He was singing. Yeah, I'd like to punch him in the face. He was talking about. Yeah. He was walking by afterwards. He was so upset. I was just thinking, boy, these people are just so degraded. Of course, I mean, if you, in one sense, I mean, religion nowadays. Christianity is just. I mean, these guys that are, eating 46 million turkeys, they're all, practically all Christians. There's so much hypocrisy and
It's been going on for a long time, but they used to have a news thing with the priests in Pennsylvania,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Christianity is not a very good example for religion, and people just become disgusted. And now the Islam also so much, suicide. What is that? What do they call that? suicide bombers and so much violence in religion. You know, when people read the Bhagavad Gita, it's a war. You know? So it's just people. You can't get away from this material world. Yeah. Okay, anything else? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.